And on the phone with us this morning.
Pull it together.
Yes, thank you.
The Greater Columbia Accountability Community of Health, and Dr. Robi Nelson is joining us. Good morning, Doctor. How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Unaccountable. That's why you're on the phone. You need to,
yeah, exactly.
You need to hold me accountable. Let's talk about, what do you guys call it? GCACH? Do you have an acronym? Or?
So GCACH is the Greater Columbia Accountable Community of Health. I am actually with Catholic Charities serving Central Washington out of Yakima.
Okay. So what exactly is GCACH all about?
So the Greater Columbia Accountable Community of Health is one of our several behavioral health agencies that has partnered together to create Practice the Pause, Cope, Calm, Care. And the campaign, you may have seen the billboards in the region. The campaign is designed to get emotional coping skills into the hands of as many humans as we possibly can in the face of the COVID pandemic. It's coming out of disaster mental health research, and what we know is the emotional fallout of really a national disaster, which is what the pandemic has now become.
This radio show has been called a national disaster at times. We need to pay close
attention. Reserve all opinions on the matter.
We need to pay close attention to what you're about to say. Cope, calm, and care, huh? That's and where was this research? Where does the research come by that you folks decided to use then to formulate this sort of an outreach?
Absolutely. So our research is largely based on the work of Dr. Kira Mouseth. She's a psychologist out of Seattle who does a lot of work in disaster mental health and disaster psychology. And from her research, there are some pretty predictable patterns of emotional fallout from a pandemic like this. And because there are some pretty predictable patterns, there are some things that we can do about it. And so she has developed a set of skills with the acronyms COPE, CALM, and CARE to really address what we know is the emotional fallout and what we're seeing right now, in our schools, with our students, us as adults. If you're human right now, you're struggling, and frankly, you're supposed to be struggling. Nobody's supposed to be okay right now.
So
these are the skills that can help with that.
You'd be a little nervous if somebody was just cruising, wouldn't you? It's like, are we into the...
I probably would be, yes.
Yeah. Sociopath thing going on here? All right, so when you think cope, you think, all right, hey, that makes sense. You got to find a way to cope. But actually, cope, the COPE, each stands for part of the program. So take us through COPE, for example, what you guys have come up with and what we need to be on the lookout for.
Yes, absolutely. So COPE, CALM, and CARE are actually 3 4-letter acronyms that get at different sets of skills that we know are beneficial to address the emotional fallout of this pandemic. So COPE, C-O-P-E, these are our thinking skills, and these are what show us the connection between our thoughts, our feelings, and our behaviors, and how we can kind of take back some control from the pandemic, because a lot of us right now feel at the whim of the pandemic or at the mercy of the pandemic and all the decision makers. So this gives us some control in terms of our thoughts, and then the connection between our thoughts, our feelings, and behaviors, so that we can essentially have some control over our emotions. That's the COPE skills.
Let me just insert something here, Doctor, and feel free to hold me accountable or whatever it is that you need to do based on what you're about to hear. It says COPE under C. It says check for your automatic reaction. And most of us have an automatic reaction. A lot of us don't do much beyond that. We just go with that reaction, right?
Absolutely,
yeah. What you're suggesting is put on some brakes here, observe your reaction, think about that, observe the emotion and behavior that are going to come from this reaction, plan some other way rather than just, if it's like my hair's on fire and I'm jumping out the window, it's not. And you don't have a window, so regroup here, right? and execute positive change.
Exactly.
Now, but here's the thing, and if we don't have to get into politics on this, and I won't put you there, but we're going to talk about this later on in the show. All of that makes sense to me because it sounds like you're talking about an emotional reaction. And one of the things that those of us on a conservative talk radio show always talk about is people that operate off of emotion and not logic. And here we have an actual psychologically developed program based on normal patterns of reaction when we are basically overreacting to a disaster, and other kinds of thinking should be inserted. And so to me, I'm thinking you just answered a big part of this, the left-right emotion versus logic sort of thing here. You probably didn't know you were even doing that today. But
well, and it's just human. It's just human to have an emotional response, and for that emotional response to be automatic and predictable. So now we can do something about it.
And there are some things that you can do personally. I mean, as simple as just trying to calm your heart rate, adjust your breathing. How many times have we heard, focus on your breathing in other sorts of stressful situations? It plays here too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. So if you go to the website, which is practicethepause.org, cleverly named, we have toolkits and resources and workbooks that are free and downloadable that go through all of the Cope Calm Care skills, and they have breathing activities and mindfulness activities and all of those things that we're asking you to do. It is laid out in easy to understand, developmentally appropriate language. You don't need a mental health person to help you walk through it. It is there for the taking. And we have the toolkits divided by age group. So we have toolkits and workbooks for ages 5 to 12. We've got them for our teenagers, and we've got them for adults too. And GCACH has been instrumental in getting all of these toolkits delivered to the schools. 3 of the ESDs in the GCACH region have, if they have not already, they will be receiving these toolkits, and we'll be doing trainings with the schools to really help not only our students but our families as well.
That is excellent.
Good stuff.
Put tools in the hands. And then the last thing in the Cope Calm Care, the care aspect, is connecting to folks, realizing that we are in a world that has changed and we don't know how it's going to come out. So you have to be open to accepting change and things like that, right? Mindful living.
Yes, and human connection is arguably one of the most important things in terms of dealing with the emotional fallout of this pandemic. And human connection is the first thing to go in COVID, right?
Yes.
COVID is the opposite of connection. COVID is don't look at anyone, don't talk to anyone, don't breathe on anyone, don't be in the same room as anyone. And that's got a really negative impact on mental health. We are social creatures. We need to connect with other people, other ideas. We need to feel like we belong to something and have a purpose. And so those care skills that you're referring to are ways to do that in spite of the pandemic.
And we even double down to make it worse, right? Then we get judgmental about who's not doing those things that separate us,
sure.
right? I mean, that's double counterproductive. Well, look, this is great information. It's good to know that it's going to be disseminated, put in the hands of both English and Spanish-speaking young people, 5 to 12, 13 to 18, and adults. I think that's fantastic. There's materials that people can get their hands on. There's a website, yes, that we should go to and check this out?
Yes, practicethepause.org, and the website is available in both Spanish and English. There's a toggle button on it that will switch, and we also have the workbooks available in both Spanish and English.
Dr. Nelson, you're fantastic. Anything else we need to tell folks? We run out of time here.
No, just the website, practicethepause.org. Check it out.
Doctor, thanks for your time. This is a really interesting program. I'm glad to find out more about it, and we may all be reaping the benefits of this as this information takes hold in the community, and we start to do the things necessary to bring our reactions under control and are prepared to face the abnormal in as most normal way as we possibly can, right?
That's definitely our hope. Thanks for having me so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Doctor. Make it a great day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. There you go, Dr. Robi Nelson.
Good stuff right
Greater
there.
Columbia Accountability Community of Health.
Boom.